we spend all this time being prepared and taking classes, going to school, all of the things we do to prepare to be in that room. And this is the first time the couple's ever done it. And we want them to be able to negotiate a legal settlement that's going to affect them the rest of their lives. So the benefit of a good team, and that certainly involves a MHP, in my opinion, is to be able to recognize that process for the client. And really, the clients do an excellent job with it, all things considered. When they're going through identity crisis, role crisis, family crisis, and still be able to sit and negotiate their own settlements, pretty impressive to me. I think we need to give our clients more credit. Certainly, the identity crisis, I mean, they're going to have to learn to be different parents, different kind of parent. Not only that, oh my gosh, and then you add a step-parent and a stepchild, and the need as a parent has grown exponentially. Your skills and your mindset still going, well, how do I do that? How long does that take? What are my boundary issues with that? I don't think the team can address all of those things, but I think just having someone in there that can see that that's such a significant change for them and that they will be able to do it, but certainly not quickly. Again, just all the roles that the professionals go through, that their mindset in going into a legal settlement is, this is my part, this is my part. Oh, now we're working as a team. And someone with a systems background or someone that has worked with that kind of need for common ground is very helpful. I think it adds value in the beginning and it adds value in the middle and the end. And I think all the team members can do that. I think having a communication facilitator or a mental health provider in the mix adds a different dimension to it. It's pretty exciting. Everybody on the team is there. The financial people are very accustomed. They put puzzles together, financial puzzles together all the time. And attorneys put legal puzzles together all the time. And mental health, the same thing. Well, you walk into a room of a legal settlement and all of those puzzle pieces are thrown up in the air. And there's two people focused on you got to get this puzzle put together for us. And so every level of expertise you can add to help those couples walk out with a constructive, productive outcome. Doesn't mean it's going to be happy, doesn't mean it's going to meet all their needs, but certainly better than turning wounded souls out with chaos. As a neutral, and in our neutral model, remaining neutral is not so difficult with a family systems background, because we're actually taught in our education that you go into every family system as a neutral. I am really very comfortable with a lot of conflict, and so managing what's too much and what's not enough, what is good for them to tell their story and get that out, because lots of people do need to say, this is what he did to me, this is why we're here, and this is what she did to me. So balancing how much of their story needs to be in a meeting with the team. It's very different with the meeting offline. You know, one of the neat things too about collaborative law is when you see the people you're working with and how they have gone about searching out something that is right for them. And you can certainly, as time goes by, see the ones that are staying in and the ones that kind of fall out. And I think the ones that stay in become consistently more and more dedicated and committed to the process. My toughest cases, when righteous anger gets in the way. Because it's so, when someone is very hurt by someone, and their anger becomes such that they don't see their part or don't take responsibility for their part that went wrong or right, then getting through that righteous anger is very difficult, because they're positional in their negotiation, because they've earned the right to do that. And I think for negotiation purposes, those are the most difficult cases in my experience. Getting past impasse, all those things we talk about over and over. And I think from an emotional, mental health provider or professional's point of view, for me it's when that righteous anger starts getting in the way, and all the negotiation in the world is going to be pretty stuck until that person can accept some responsibility for their part, or at least be able to look at the other person and go, I can understand how you might feel that way. Don't get it all the way, but okay. Then the negotiation can restart. Those are some of the most difficult cases. Positional now is to step back and for me to talk to them some about that identity crisis they're going through, because they're, in my opinion, they're using skills that they've had to use and that, quite frankly, have worked very well for them to this time. And this information is so different for them. What they're trying to accomplish is so different for them. They get stuck in using old behavior and old notions to solve a new problem. So instead of doing the same old behavior over and over to get a different results, let's start looking at your options of how can you accomplish this without being positional about it. There was a young couple that came in. They had been married 5 years. They had an 18-month-old, or maybe a 3-year-old. They were so focused on making this divorce work so that their child would be well cared for, be the focus of attention, and move forward. That truly was when the negotiations centered around the children. And boy, they got that done, learned skills, utilized them, wanted more, so that their daughter would be as least affected by divorce as possible. And I think that those cases, meaning cases that go well, is when the couple really buy into a common goal. And hopefully, if there's children, that's it, although sometimes it's not, I think. But if they truly can buy into that common goal of, we want what's best for our children, or even the financials, as long as they can buy into the commitment of what they want to accomplish, their goal or their interest, then you can find ways to negotiate and get past those things.